The one who always has to win the one who always has to win the argument. That's not power. That's fear in disguise. Real confidence doesn't beg for attention. It doesn't rush to defend itself. It doesn't panic when ignored. But fake confidence, it's fragile. One disagreement and it cracks. One rejection and it spirals. And here's the scary part. Most people don't even realize they're faking it. They think confidence means dominance. They think it means being alpha. They think it means never showing weakness. But the truth? The strongest person in the room is the one who controls himself, not others. In this video, I'm going to break down the psychology of fake confidence, why it feels powerful at first, why it always collapses, and how to build the kind of internal strength that makes you emotionally untouchable. No hype, no fake motivation, just real psychological truth you can actually apply. If you're tired of performing, if you're tired of needing approval, if you're ready to become calm, grounded, and unshakable, watch until the end. And if you value real strength over loud energy, hit subscribe now, because this channel is about building power that doesn't need to be announced. 1. The loudest person in the room is usually the most afraid. Let me tell you something most people don't realize. Confidence isn't loud. It doesn't need to interrupt. It doesn't need to dominate. It doesn't need to prove anything. But fake confidence? Fake confidence is desperate. Look around in any social setting in America, a party, a workplace meeting, a group of friends. There's always that one person who controls the conversation. He talks over people. He name drops. He brags about money, status, women, connections. He laughs the loudest. He makes sure the spotlight never leaves him. And if you really pay attention, you'll notice something else. He's working hard. That's not strength. That's insecurity in disguise. Psychologically, fake confidence is a defense mechanism. When someone feels small inside, they overcompensate outside. It's called reaction formation. The mind flips fear into exaggerated boldness. Instead of admitting, "I feel inadequate," the ego says, "I'm superior." Deep down, fake confidence is built on one hidden fear. If I don't control how they see me, they'll see the real me. And that terrifies them, because the real me feels uncertain. It feels not enough. It feels replaceable. So they perform. Real confidence doesn't panic about perception. It doesn't need to manage the room. It doesn't need applause or approval. It doesn't rush to fill silence. Fake confidence is always performing. Real confidence is always observing. The quiet guy in the corner who speaks less but listens more. The one who doesn't react emotionally when challenged. The one who doesn't feel the need to compete for attention. That's strength. Here's how you spot fake confidence immediately. They can't handle disagreement. They get defensive fast. They constantly seek validation. They react emotionally when challenged. They compare themselves to everyone in the room. They look powerful until someone questions them. Then the mask cracks. The voice tightens. The energy shifts. The jokes turn sharp. The body language stiffens. Because fake confidence is fragile. Real confidence is stable. If your self-worth depends on how people respond to you, you are not confident. You are dependent. And dependency always creates anxiety. When approval feels like oxygen, any criticism feels like suffocation. That's not power. Power is emotional independence. Power is being able to sit in a room and not need to be the center of it. Power is being misunderstood and not feeling the urge to defend your entire identity. Power is knowing who you are, without announcing it. The first step to becoming untouchable is recognizing this truth. You don't need to look powerful. You need to be emotionally unshakable. And once you stop trying to prove your strength, you start building the real thing. Why fake confidence feels powerful, but eventually collapses. Let's be honest. Fake confidence works. At first, it gets attention. It creates presence. It intimidates insecure people. That's why so many adopt it. In a culture that rewards loud personalities and bold statements, fake confidence can look like leadership. It can look like strength. It can even look like success. But here's what's happening under the surface. Fake confidence runs on adrenaline. It's high energy, high performance, high maintenance, and it's exhausting. Perceived. You can't be wrong. You can't perceived. You can't be wrong. You can't look unsure. You can't show doubt. You can't admit mistakes. That's pressure. And psychologically, pressure always creates cracks. The more you protect a false image, the more fragile it becomes. One mistake feels like exposure. One loss feels like humiliation. One criticism feels like an attack on your identity. Real confidence allows room for imperfection. Fake confidence doesn't. That's why people with fake confidence avoid situations where they might fail. They choose safe wins. They stay in circles where they can dominate. They avoid rooms where they're not the smartest, richest, strongest, or most charismatic person there. Put them in a room where they're average and watch the discomfort. They either talk louder, leave early, or subtly attack someone to regain control. Why? Because their identity is built on superiority, and superiority is unstable. Real confidence isn't built on being above others. It's built on accepting yourself fully, strengths, flaws, growth areas, and all. There's a massive difference. Fake confidence says, I need to be above you to feel okay. Real confidence says, I don't need to be above anyone to feel secure. That's freedom. And freedom is power. When you don't need to win every argument, you become calm in conflict. When you don't need to impress everyone, you become relaxed in social settings. When you don't need to dominate, you become steady under pressure. Fake confidence collapses when exposed. Real confidence grows under pressure. Think about the calm person in a heated argument, the one who doesn't rush to respond, the one who pauses, the one who listens fully before speaking, the one who doesn't raise his voice just because someone else does. That person is dangerous in the best way, because emotional control is true dominance. When someone insults you and you don't react, you win. When someone tries to provoke you and you stay steady, you win. When someone tries to compete with you and you don't compete back, you win, not because you defeated them, but because you didn't lose yourself. Fake confidence needs opponents. It feeds off comparison. It survives on competition. Real confidence doesn't. It stands on its own. And when you stop needing external validation to feel strong, something shifts inside you. You stop chasing approval. You stop reacting emotionally. You stop trying to control how others see you. That's when you begin becoming untouchable. Not loud, not arrogant, not dominant, just solid. And solid always outlasts performance. 3. The root of fake confidence, fear of rejection. Let's go deeper. Fake confidence is not about ego. It's about fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of being ignored. Fear of not being enough. Most people don't wake up and decide to become fake. It happens slowly. Somewhere in childhood or adolescence, a message gets planted. If I'm not impressive, I won't be valued. Maybe they were overlooked. Maybe they were criticized. Maybe they were compared to someone better. So they adapted. They built a character, a louder version, a stronger version, a cooler version, a version that wouldn't get ignored again. At first, it works. People respond, they get attention, they feel powerful. But over time, they forget it was a mask. The performance becomes identity. And here's the problem with wearing armor all the time. You can't relax. You can't connect deeply. You can't be authentic. Because authenticity feels risky. If people see the real you and don't like it, that feels like confirmation of your worst fear. I'm not enough. So you stay guarded. You stay sharp. You stay alert. You're always scanning for threats. Who's judging me? Who's outperforming me? Who's ignoring me? That's not dominance. That's anxiety disguised as strength. Real confidence doesn't come from overpowering others. It comes from self-trust. Self-trust means I can handle rejection. I can handle failure. I can handle criticism. I can handle being misunderstood. Notice the shift. Fake confidence tries to avoid discomfort at all costs. Real confidence knows discomfort is survivable. When you truly believe you can survive rejection, you stop trying so hard to prevent it. When you know you can recover from failure, you stop pretending to be perfect. When you accept that not everyone will understand you, you stop explaining yourself to exhaustion. That's emotional security. And emotional security is rare. Untouchable doesn't mean cold. It doesn't mean arrogant. It doesn't mean detached from reality. It means stable. It means you don't collapse when someone disapproves of you. It means your mood doesn't depend on compliments. It means silence doesn't make you insecure. It means you don't chase validation like it's oxygen. You operate from internal stability instead of external approval. In a world addicted to attention, the person who doesn't need it stands out. In a culture driven by likes, views, and constant feedback, the individual who can sit quietly and still feel whole has an advantage most people don't understand. Because when you don't fear rejection, you stop performing. When you stop performing, you start living. And when you start living from a place of self-trust instead of fear, you become something powerful. Not loud, not flashy, not desperate, just solid. And the man who is solid without applause is unstoppable. 4. How to build real confidence, step by step. Now let's talk solutions. You don't destroy fake confidence overnight. You replace it. Real confidence isn't built through motivation. It's built through behavior, small, repeated actions that slowly shift how you see yourself. Here's how you start. 1. Stop performing. Pay attention to the moments where you exaggerate, where you try to sound smarter than you feel, where you pretend to understand something you don't. That's performance, and performance creates pressure. Start practicing honesty in small ways. Say, I don't know. I was wrong. Explain that to me. At first, your ego will resist. It will feel uncomfortable, but that discomfort is growth. Every time you admit imperfection without collapsing, you build internal strength. Humility is not weakness. Humility is power when it's secure. Because when you're not afraid of being imperfect, no one can use it against you. 2. Get comfortable being disliked. Not everyone will approve of you. That's not a flaw. That's reality. Trying to win everyone is exhausting. It forces you to adjust your personality depending on who's watching. Over time, you lose yourself. When you stop trying to manage everyone's opinion, you free massive mental energy. Let people misunderstand you. Let people disagree with you. Let people think you're not for them. Your job is not to control perception. Your job is to protect your character. When you can walk into a room without needing approval, your presence changes. You become calmer, slower, more intentional. That's confidence. 3. Build competence. Quietly. Confidence without skill is noise. Real confidence grows from evidence. You trust yourself because you've proven yourself. Privately. Get stronger physically. Push your body. Learn valuable skills that increase your independence. Improve your communication. Handle responsibilities fully instead of avoiding them. Competence creates natural confidence. You don't have to announce it. It shows in how you speak, in how you move, in how you handle pressure. When you know you can rely on yourself, you stop seeking constant reassurance from others. 4. Practice emotional discipline. This is where most people fail. When you feel triggered, pause. When you feel defensive, breathe. When you feel attacked, slow down. There is always a gap between what happens and how you respond. That gap is where power lives. Fake confidence reacts instantly. It protects ego at all costs. Real confidence chooses its response carefully. If someone insults you and you stay calm, you control the situation. If someone tries to provoke you and you don't bite, you maintain leverage. Emotional discipline is silent strength. 5. Detach from outcomes. Go into conversations without needing to win. Go into dates without needing approval. Go into opportunities without desperation. When you don't need the outcome, your energy shifts. You become relaxed instead of tense, focused instead of anxious. Desperation repels. Grounded energy attracts. When you are okay with success or failure, acceptance or rejection, you operate freely. And freedom is magnetic. Real confidence isn't loud, it's steady. And when you build it step by step, you stop pretending. You start standing. 5. Becoming untouchable. Untouchable doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't fold. It means your peace isn't negotiable. A lot of people misunderstand strength. They think it's aggression. They think it's dominance. They think it's being the loudest voice or the most intimidating presence in the room. That's surface-level power. Untouchable energy is different. It's quiet. It's controlled. It's steady under pressure. Here's what untouchable energy looks like in real life. You don't argue just to prove a point. You don't over-explain to convince people who already decided not to understand you. You don't compete for attention in every room you walk into. You don't panic when your phone stays silent. You don't chase validation like it's oxygen. You move steady. You speak clearly. You walk away when necessary, without making a scene. That's real power. The untouchable person understands something most people never learn. Other people's behavior is about them, not you. When someone disrespects you, it reflects their emotional maturity, not your value. When someone constantly brags, it reveals insecurity, not superiority. When someone attacks you verbally, it exposes their lack of control, not your weakness. Once you truly understand this, you stop taking everything personally. And when you stop taking things personally, you stop reacting emotionally. You observe. You assess. Then you decide your response carefully. That's psychological dominance. The strongest person in the room is not the one controlling everyone else. It's the one controlling himself. Self-control is power in its purest form. You don't need to intimidate people to feel secure. You don't need to impress people to feel valuable. You don't need to dominate conversations to feel important. You just need to be stable. Because when you are stable, manipulation doesn't work on you. Insults don't shake you. Rejection doesn't break you. Silence doesn't scare you. You don't crumble when someone disagrees. You don't spiral when someone leaves. You don't overreact when someone challenges you. You stay grounded. That's emotional self-sufficiency. And that is rare. We live in a culture that rewards noise, loud opinions, fast reactions, constant self-promotion. But while noise gets attention, calm power earns respect. The person who can sit quietly and remain confident without applause carries a different energy. It's not flashy, it's not dramatic, but it's undeniable. So stop trying to look confident. Start building internal security. Stop performing for approval. Start developing real strength. Stop reacting out of ego. Start choosing responses with intention. When your identity is no longer dependent on outside validation, something shifts inside you. You no longer need to win every argument. You no longer need to correct every misunderstanding. You no longer need to prove your worth. You become unshakable, measured, grounded, untouchable. And once you reach that level, control becomes impossible for others to take from you. Because you finally understand the truth. The only real power you ever needed was control over yourself. Let's end this the right way. Fake confidence is loud. It performs. It competes. It reacts. Real confidence is quiet. It observes. It chooses. It remains steady. That's the difference. You don't become untouchable by dominating every room. You become untouchable by mastering yourself. When someone tries to provoke you and you stay calm, that's power. When someone misunderstands you and you don't rush to explain, that's security. When someone rejects you and you don't collapse, that's strength. This isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming controlled. It's about reaching a point where your self-worth is no longer rented out to other people's opinions. Because the moment your identity stops, depending on validation, you become free. Free from needing approval. Free from chasing attention. Free from reacting emotionally to every little thing. And freedom is dangerous, in the best way. Remember this. The strongest person in the room is not the loudest. It's the one who can lose and stay composed. The one who can be criticized and stay grounded. The one who can walk away without needing the last word. That's untouchable energy. So from this point forward, stop performing. Start building. Stop reacting. Start choosing. Work on your body. Sharpen your mind. Control your emotions. Strengthen your discipline. Do it quietly. Because real confidence doesn't announce itself, it shows. And once you reach that level, nobody can manipulate you. Nobody can shake you. Nobody can control you. Because you finally control yourself. That's power. And now it's your move.